start, sweetie?
Alright, well, I guess this is a better time. Alright, this went off to a great start, didn't it? I've never held a memorial. I've never had to run a funeral for my best friend before, so this is kind of all new and crazy, and I'm just gonna wing it. I didn't write anything down except for a few quotes from Lord of the Rings, because I think you're supposed to do that. We all obviously knew Amanda. At least you met her once or twice, or you spoke to her, or you saw her. And how you thought of her the last time you saw her is how you need to remember her. I don't want you to remember her as the nicest person you've ever met, because she wasn't. She was a bitch. And we all know it. And if you say that she's not, then you obviously did not know Amanda. She was not afraid to tell you how she really felt, and if she didn't like you, you knew it. And if she loved you, the whole world knew it. And she loved you with everything in her. There was not a moment of her time that she would say no to somebody. At work, if we needed our shifts picked up, she'd pick them up, even if she had stuff to deal with. She thought of everybody before herself. But at the same time, she was very opinionated, and she was not afraid to say anything. She wasn't afraid to do anything. She wasn't afraid to start dancing in the middle of the mall and start screaming at each other from across the whole way. We would go into Walmart and just yell at each other from across the store, just to cause trouble. And the many times that we tried to get kicked out of stores, we never did. So it was a little disappointing. Honestly, this I don't want this to be sad. I don't want it to be anything except for remembering her and who she was. Because obviously, if you're here, you have a reason to remember her, and you have memories. And that's what I want. I want to hear your memories. If you have a story that you want to tell about Amanda, about her craziness, or when she was rude to you one time, or multiple times, I want to hear it, because that's how this should be. Funerals and memorials should not be about the death. It should be about the life, and about how we're going to live despite the horrible things that have happened, because that's what she would want. She would not want us crying over her. I mean, she would for a little bit, because she likes the attention. But after a while, she'd be like, alright, you need to get your ass up and do something in your life. And so I know at funerals they usually read scriptures or something, and our Bible was Lord of the Rings. So there were a few things that I found in here that I really loved, and that she and I used to quote Lord of the Ring quotes to each other all the times. Just text each other random things. I was Samwise and she was Frodo all the time. That's what we called each other. That's what we were in each other's phones, and we were one. There's a couple things I want to read in here, and I know it's going to be super boring, because that's always the boring part of the funeral, but that's okay. I don't care.
I thought it wasn't a funeral.
Oh, now, hush. Alright, the first one is from the Fellowship of the Ring. It says, he used often to say there was only one road, that it was like a great river. Its springs were at every doorstep, and at every path was its tributary. It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out of your door, he used to say. You step into the road, and if you don't keep your feet there, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. And that was one of the things that she used to text me a lot, if you don't know, or if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. Because we used to have a really good time about getting swept up into drama and we're teenage girls, what do you expect? And then this one is from Mary in Fellowship of the Ring, of course. I ripped the papers, so it's kind of hard to read. But it says, you can trust us to stick to you through thick and thin, to the bitter end. And you can trust us to keep any secret of yours, closer than you yourself keep it. But you cannot trust us to let you face trouble alone. And go off without a word. We are your friends, Frodo. And no matter what anybody says, Amanda wasn't alone. Amanda never has been alone. She's always had at least one person in her life. And she's never going to be alone. Just because she's gone physically, she's always going to be with us. I have one more to read, and then you guys can talk. It's from Fellowship of the Ring, obviously. And it's from Gandalf. And it says, "All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadow shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king."
That is almost biblical.
Almost, kind of, but not there. Not
Beautiful.
Not quite. Now, if anybody would like to start with a memory of Amanda, I'd like that. And as we go around, we can just all randomly say something.